Consider for a moment the vast landscape of human interaction. We speak tens of thousands of words every day, yet how many of those truly penetrate the minds of our listeners and alter their perspective? We often operate under the comforting illusion that the quality of our communication is dictated solely by the brilliance of our arguments or the elegance of our prose. This is fundamentally untrue. The greatest communicators throughout history, from visionary leaders to influential speakers, understood a profound secret. The battle for influence is won not with superior vocabulary, but with superior psychology. Have you ever wondered why you might forget the exact words someone used, but the feeling, the impact of their message stays with you for years? Today, we strip away the veneer of simple rhetoric and delve into the three hidden psychological foundations that will transform your communication from merely descriptive to undeniably influential. The ability to communicate effectively is not a soft skill. It is perhaps the single most critical determinant of success, both professionally and personally. Think of any high-stakes scenario in your life: a job interview, a salary negotiation, resolving a conflict with a partner, or leading a team through uncertainty. In every instance, your trajectory was defined by your ability to convey confidence, clarity, and trust. Yet, we spend years learning technical skills and only moments considering how to truly connect. This lack of focus leaves most individuals feeling frustrated, often being misunderstood or overlooked despite their expertise. We are here to change that. We will move beyond common sense advice and examine the science behind emotional resonance. By the end of this deep dive, you will possess a framework, a psychological toolkit for creating connections that are not just heard, but profoundly felt, ensuring your ideas receive the weight and respect they deserve. The three pillars of magnetic communication. We explore the core concepts in detail, providing the depth necessary for extended narration. Pillar 1. The calibration of presence, the invisible signal. The most impactful communication begins in silence. This first pillar, the invisible signal, refers to the unconscious assessment that every person makes of you within the first few seconds of interaction. Your physical state broadcasts a signal that either invites attention and respect or subtly suggests avoidance. This is the realm of nonverbal communication, extending far beyond simple body language. Consider the role of kinetics, the way you move. A person who enters a room with rapid movements, whose eyes dart constantly, and whose hands are restless signals an inner state of anxiety or lack of control. Subconsciously, the audience registers this as uncertainty, and their natural reaction is to distrust the message. Contrast this with the communicator who moves with deliberate, unhurried ease. Their posture is upright yet relaxed, their breathing is slow and abdominal, and their eye contact is steady. This physical composure broadcasts competence and control. This signal is intimately tied to your autonomic nervous system. When you are nervous, your sympathetic system activates, releasing cortisol, which accelerates your heart rate and tightens your shoulders. To control the signal, you must control your physical state. Before any crucial interaction, invest 30 seconds in what we call somatic anchoring. Slow your breathing to 6 seconds in and 6 seconds out. Relax your jaw, loosen your grip, and consciously drop your shoulders. This deliberate physical deceleration forces your nervous system into a parasympathetic state, shifting your signal from threat to safety. When the audience feels safe in your presence, they are cognitively predisposed to receive your message positively. The power of a strong presence is this: it establishes your authority before you even articulate your first thought. Pillar 2. Strategic retreat, the listening trap. The second pillar challenges the fundamental assumption that communication is primarily an active output. The listening trap reveals that the highest form of influence is actually an act of radical input. Why? Because the deepest human need is the need to be understood. When you speak, the listener is focused on their own internal rebuttal or their next turn to speak. But when you truly listen, genuinely setting aside your own agenda to absorb the totality of their message, you activate what is called the affiliation mechanism in their brain. This is not passive hearing, it is active, reflective listening. The master communicator waits patiently for the speaker to complete their thought and then employs a technique known as validating paraphrase. This is more than repeating words. It's summarizing the core emotion or underlying intent of their message. For example, instead of immediately countering an objection, you might say, "It sounds like you are feeling concerned about the timeline and you need assurances that we have a robust contingency plan in place. Is that the most pressing issue for you?" The effect of this single validating statement is monumental. First, it ensures you have understood correctly, preventing miscommunication. Second, and crucially, it signals profound respect. In that moment, the speaker feels deeply validated and their cognitive guard drops. They no longer see you as an adversary to be argued against, but as an ally who seeks comprehension. This trust dramatically increases their susceptibility to your eventual message. Remember the core psychological trade-off. The more you make someone feel heard, the less effort you will need to exert to be influential. Pillar 3. The instrument of authority, the voice game. Finally, we address the literal instrument of your message, your voice. Research consistently shows that the words themselves are merely the vehicle. The vast majority of meaning and emotional context is transmitted through your vocal characteristics, the voice game. To optimize this instrument, we focus on 3 dimensions: pacing and power. We previously mentioned slowing down, but let us be precise. Avoid a monotone delivery, which signals boredom. Instead, master the strategic pause. A pause is a frame for attention. When you pause immediately before delivering a key piece of information, you create a moment of cognitive tension, drawing all focus to the ensuing statement. This pause, correctly implemented, transforms a statement into a declaration. Pitch and trust. A higher pitch is subconsciously associated with excitement, alarm, or nervousness. A lower, more resonant pitch is universally linked to authority, gravitas, and trustworthiness. This is why deep, controlled breathing is so vital. It allows your voice to resonate from your chest cavity, naturally deepening your tone. Before a key speech, try a simple vocal warm-up. Hum deeply. This vibration lowers your habitual speaking pitch, projecting greater confidence. Dynamic variation. An effective voice is not static, it is a landscape. Use variation in volume to underscore importance. A sharp drop in volume forces listeners to lean in and pay closer attention, marking the whispered line as confidential or crucial. Likewise, a measured increase in volume can be used to emphasize a final conclusion. The key is to be intentional. Every shift in pitch or volume must serve the purpose of the message, ensuring your audience is not merely listening to a stream of sound, but actively engaging with a symphony of meaning. Practical takeaways and application. Now that you understand the psychological architecture of influence, the final step is disciplined application. First, institute a 5-minute pre-game ritual before every important interaction. This includes the somatic anchoring breathing exercise, a quick voice hum, and a conscious decision on the single most important message you intend to convey. Second, commit to a week of active listening overload. In every conversation, prioritize the validating paraphrase. Force yourself to listen until you can accurately summarize the speaker's feelings, not just their facts. You will find that your need to interrupt or argue dramatically decreases, while your perceived credibility skyrockets. Third, begin recording yourself. Most people are unaware of their pace, pitch, and tendency to rush or use filler words. Analyze your recordings through the lens of the three pillars. Is your invisible signal one of control? Does your voice use strategic pauses? The transformation. We began by recognizing the illusion of words. Now you hold the keys to the three hidden levers of influence: presence, listening, and voice. These are not superficial tricks. They are deeply ingrained psychological cues that govern human connection. By diligently mastering these three areas, you move from being a mere participant in dialogue to becoming a true master of communication. Now that you know the hidden forces behind impactful interaction, embrace this knowledge and imagine how you could use it to transform your relationships, your career, and your entire ability to shape the world around you.